Hey resellers, thanks so much for tuning into today's video. I have a great video for you today, and I realized while I was putting together the different components and the things that I wanted to include, the knowledge that I wanted to give out in today's video, that like a theme was coming together. Whether I knew it or not, there was a theme coming together, and I wrote it over here on today's board. That is count it all joy, because a lot of things can go wrong in reselling. You may be having the worst day of your reselling career today, and let me just remind you that the worst day reselling is probably better than any average day clocking into someone else's dream. Like, do not forget, in those moments when things go wrong, or in those moments when you are comparing your success to someone else's, which is such a thief of joy, do not forget why you're reselling and count it all joy, because you get to work for yourself. We live in this amazing world, and in my sake, in this amazing country that enables me to work for myself at my home and get to do so many cool things. So this morning I am getting started, jumping in feet first in all of my little reselling tasks, because I have some cool things that I want to get to, including taking care of my garden. So to be able to work a job that affords me the opportunity and freedom to do that, like, count it all joy. So the very first thing I'm gonna do today is I have a couple more orders. I did already get my shipments together, but I have a couple, like 2 more things that sold. I wanna talk to you guys about what sold, pick those items, pack them, print the shipping labels, and then we're headed to the post office. Let's talk about what sold that I already packed up. Okay, this first thing I did pay up a little bit. This is a Boy Scout backpack, and it is a vintage Boy Scout backpack. I did pay up a little bit for this. I paid $5 for this, but I just wanted to show you the really, really rough condition that it's in. I paid $5 for this to save it from the garbage, to get it into the hands of a collector. You guys know my heart is in vintage items. I mean, this thing has seen better days. The straps in the front did not even function to where it could actually close anymore. So this backpack sold for $19.10 with free shipping. I'm going to break down at the very end the cost of goods and fees with everything, as to not bore you with each individual item. So that sold $19.10. The buyer was all in. I did have to send it priority. It was kind of a large package, but it shipped for, like, I want to say $8 or $9. The next item I sold was also broken. Like, quit being afraid of broken things. Another thing that could go wrong in reselling. See, all of these items today just have such a theme. How many times have you gotten home with an item and you're like, wow, did not see that stain when I was at the store. Wow, didn't see the chip in that, or the crack in that, or this, that the bunny's ear was broken off. If you are a reseller and you have not had that moment, comment below and let me know, because I need to be following everything you're doing. Because how many countless times have I gotten home and thought, oh, I didn't check the buttons and it's missing buttons, or I don't know, something really random goes wrong. Well, this item was actually gifted to me from a friend, so it wasn't exactly that situation, but it was cracked and it was chipped. No big deal. It was free to me inventory. I priced it really high and I negotiated. I had this little Fiesta bowl, and this was the #1 bowl, so it's really, really small. But let me just show you. Okay, so here's the Fiesta marking on the bottom. If you're doing Fiesta, you always want to be sure and take pictures of that. So it had this large chip in it, and then there's a crack. I don't know how well you can see it, but this crack, and it rotates around. I know there's another picture. There's 4 more pictures. It rotates around the bowl. So there was a deep crack. I priced this thing at like $100. Someone kept coming in and offering me like $15, $10, and he would say every time that he made an offer, you realize this is chipped, right? You realize this is cracked, right? Yes, of course. That's why I have pictures of it. And instead of, again, getting mad at his low offers, I would counter him every time. Well, I ended up dropping the price on this bowl to $50, to which he finally comes up and offers $20. I said, you know what? I have $10 shipping on this. How about 30? If someone is willing to pay me all in $40 for a chipped and cracked bowl, it's a used something. It's a used anything, guys. We have to keep that in mind sometimes. It's used, it's cracked, it's chipped, and he's willing to give me 40 of his dollars for it. Don't be greedy, sell it. So I did. I sold this for $30 with $10 shipping, you guys, and it is headed to its new home, to someone that clearly needed it. And I just thought every time he would come back, well, clearly you can't find another one. You want this one. So I was, you know, I definitely was determined to bring him up in his price, but we were never going to get to $100. We probably weren't going to get to $50. I could sell that for $30 plus $10 shipping all day. That's great. Especially the fact, again, it was free to me. Thank you. Shout out to my friend Alicia. And this next item, guys, is a sewing pattern. You're gonna see 2 sewing patterns today, and I talk over on Instagram today about sewing patterns because they don't sell for a whole lot. But if on the second one, I think I ended up profiting like $6.07 on a sewing pattern. Why worry about $6.07 profits? Because you only have to make 124, I think it was, of those to make $1,000. Like, sewing patterns take 3 minutes to list. That means that you can list 20 of them in an hour. You're making like, what did it come out to? I think $124 an hour. It's crazy. Head over to my Instagram about how much you can make off of little $5 and $6 profits. Items that are really inexpensive, 25-50 cent sewing patterns, things that sewing patterns really take 2 photos. But let me show you the photos I take of sewing patterns, because this one actually has 6. This is I picked this up because it's vintage, because it's McCall, so it's a good brand, and it's Halston, so it's a good designer pattern. I am taking lots of pictures of the front of it. I take a picture of the back so that the buyer has all of the information that the manufacturer wanted them to have. I want to ensure that they know that this package is open and that it's not in the best condition for the envelope. There's one more photo. Oh, this is zoomed in of the measurements. And on a sewing pattern, you want to ensure that you tell the buyer if it's cut or uncut. This sewing pattern went for $7.99 with free shipping. So it cost me $0.25. This next item I talked about again over on Instagram. If you guys are not over there, you need to get over there, because I talked about how there is no brand for this. Like, stop buying BOLO lists. Someone over on my Instagram actually made like this genius comment that she said she had been trying to tell her husband, I'm sorry, I don't remember the name right now, but she said, I've been trying to tell my husband this, that if you get really good at sourcing items, you can be the creator of your own BOLO list. And I was like, yes, I could give you fish all day long. I could tell you brands to pick up all day long. And what will happen is those brands will become oversaturated, because then everyone picks them up and then they're not worth anything. So I could give you a fish, or I could teach you to fish, right? Like, I'm not interested in giving you guys brands. You will see me say that, hey, if you haven't heard of this brand, definitely pick this up. But more than anything, I want you to know why I pick things up. That is the knowledge that should be free to everyone on YouTube and will always be free on my channel. So this this purse, I picked it up. Look at this. Wooden beads, handmade, vintage purse. This is so cool, you guys. I have to tell you about my keywords on this purse also. So look at this beaded work. This was not machine made. Machines cannot do this. Come on. This is a handmade bag. Wooden bead handbag made in Korea. So really, really cool bag here. This bag I picked up because it's wood. I like to pick up wood, metal, or glass because they don't make a whole lot out of wood, metal, and glass anymore. Even wooden furniture is not wood. It sold for $27.99 plus $9 shipping. So I paid $1 for this. You have to be able to look at items that are $1 and know that you can sell that for almost 30 bucks. Not because it was on someone's BOLO list that you paid for, but because you know that's a quality item. So guys, pick up vintage. This was unique. This was handmade. Again, it was made out of wood. Lots of reasons why I picked this bag up, and none of them were because it was on someone's BOLO list. Moving on. The next item was part of the t-shirt haul that my husband and I were at a store, and he's not a reseller. He's actually an electrician, for those of you that don't know. But he found a ton of single stitch t-shirts. Like, I want to say we picked up maybe 42 t-shirts that day. There's a whole video about it. I'll link it below in the description if you want to see the t-shirt haul. Many repeats. But we picked these t-shirts up for $1 a piece. Picked this up because it was made in America, vintage, single stitch. That was really checked off all the boxes, but it didn't hurt that it was a size extra large, because especially with vintage t-shirts, the larger sizes you can get, the better. The sizing is a bit small. This sold for $27.99 plus $4.80 shipping. This is a Flowmaster exhaust. So yeah, it had, like, you know, a car theme to it. There's a shark there, and it says, "We love competition. It's feeding time." Ha! We need that as resellers, right? We love competition. This is on a Keen Scenes tag, and again, it's extra large, made in the USA. That's something that you want to include, is the tags on vintage items. Buyers want to see those. They want to know that they're authentic, and the tag will depend the value of a vintage t-shirt all day long. It really will. I show how wide the shirt is at the armpits, and I show how long the shirt is. I do not include that in my description. I provide photos of measurements. gives the buyer a lot of assurance of exactly where you measured. They can see it. Anytime that you can make the buyer feel like they've experienced this item, that they have held this item even though they haven't held this item, if you can show it the texture of a fabric, anything that you can show that reassures buyer confidence, you're gonna have a happy experience with that buyer, from that buyer, I should say. The back of this is super cool. It has a racing flag and an American flag, and there was like a glitter in the white. Now, I would really wanted to ensure that a buyer knew there was a bit of glitter, because to me this is a very masculine shirt, and I thought it was odd that it was so sparkly. So I zoomed in twice, like double time on this, just to be sure that they knew that there's glitter in the white paint. So I showed that off, and then I think I even detailed it in the description that, let me see if I said that. Here's my description for this item. Vintage Keen Scenes Extra Large Black Flowmaster Glitter Print. Yes, so I did include glitter. I want to be sure that the buyer knows. I do not want a buyer to get this and say, you sold me a chick shirt. The next item that sold, I own these pants as well. These were listed over on Poshmark and on eBay. I haven't pulled these yet. I have sold one pair on eBay and one pair on Poshmark now. $69 new with tags, Lathe, small medium Nordstrom's high-waisted ankle cuff pleated dress pants, gray. I spelled gray both ways on here. Now, G-R-A-Y and G-R-E-Y. If I'm going to include that title, I want to spell it both ways, because I feel like people spell it both ways, especially depending on maybe where you're from. Is there a more, I feel like G-R-E-Y is more preferred, but G-R-A-Y, a lot of people spell gray that way. So I included it. These sold for $32. Let's just click on that. They are just new with tags dress pants. They're actually pretty cool. I own these pants also, but believe it or not, I've never worn them. I show the tag here because obviously the clearance tags have been ripped off. I wanted them to see that the tag's not in pristine condition. I lay the pants out and show the waist measurement laying flat. This is showing the rise because these were really a high-rise jean. That's important on women's jeans. I wanted to show the hip measurement as well, that these are definitely wider in the hip, and then a picture of the actual tags, and this is a picture of the inseam. So measurements, details, guys. $32 plus $5.50 shipping. I picked those up for $1.60 from an Amazon return store. Or like Amazon shelf pulls and stuff, and they'd actually gotten a pallet of Nordstrom clothes, and they were 90% off. So those were normally $16. I got them for $1.60 that day. The last item that I'm shipping out today over on eBay is this 1990 Butterick sewing pattern 5200 Cabbage Patch Kids wardrobe 6 outfits. So the buyer paid $7 plus $4 shipping for this adorable sewing pattern, you guys. Look at this little Cabbage Patch clothes. Sorry, my swiper is not swiping today. Swiper, no swiping. I hope that that's not like a copywritten phrase and I don't get shut down on this video. There's the front of the pattern, a close-up, the back of the pattern. This is so cute, you guys. This is a cut pattern. So anyway, I just go through all of the details. It looks like brand new. This was $6.50 back in the day when this thing was new. $7 plus $4 shipping on that. And then I have a couple things that I wanted to talk to you about that are shipping out today over on Poshmark. One of them, I feel like if I saw this today, I would go nuts over it. I have relisted this item. I don't know if it's because it had a defect that it took so long to sell, but look at these little salt and pepper shakers. They have human-like faces that, what is the phrase, anthropomorphic? I butchered that. Anyway, when something has human characteristics, but it is an animal or an inanimate object. These only sold for $9, you guys. I barely made $6 on these, but I only paid $1 for them. They're little cats on pillows, but you can see this guy's missing the cork. So maybe that's why. Maybe I should have got a cork. Like I say, the buyer paid $9. I made $6.05 on those. And then I have one more item. Is a pair of stained jeans. So I promise that defective merchandise isn't all I sell, but I'm just not afraid of it. So these are a pair of Lee jeans. You can see stains there on the front. And they're really cool Lee jeans. They're not like new with tags or anything. I show the back of them as well. And then I am pointing at stains here. I am pointing at stains here. Stained and defective items are going to sell, guys. This is me showing the hip measurement, showing the rise measurement, and then let me tell you in the description what I said about the stains, because let's see. Small rust colored staining on these as pictured. Check measurements as vintage sizing is smaller than modern. Make sure people don't think that they're getting a modern size 12. These are teeny tiny. Please see all photos. I ship fast. Thanks for checking this out and God bless. Those sold for $25 for a pair of stained jeans. I made $20 because Poshmark takes 20%. Don't be afraid of stained, broken, chipped, defective items, guys, especially if you get home with those items and you're like, oh my gosh, I never saw this, a rust colored stain like that. What's the chances you're going to see something like that in thrift store lighting? I actually did see the stains on those when I bought those because I was in natural lighting. It was at a yard sale, but just don't be afraid to really comb over everything with, you know, a bright light. Take it to the front window at the thrift store so you know exactly what you're getting. But if you get home and something is not what you thought it was, count it all joy, all right? Your worst day reselling, better than an average day clocking into someone else's dream. So here's how things broke down. This is the full sales price with the shipping included. This is my cost of goods for each item, how much I paid to ship the items, what the fees were, and then we're gonna go over my overall profit. So you'll see my total sales, $185.92. My total cost of goods was $9.10, so that's pretty awesome. That is keeping in line with trying to get 10 times the money as the total sales price. My shipping fees were $42 and my fees were $24.15. It's important not to look at $185.92. Like I could tell you I made that in a day. I did not make that in a day. And if you're always looking at that 90-day sales price that people post, this is what that number is. They did not make that, okay? And comparison is the thief of joy, so don't compare anything to that. In reality, all of these fees amount to $75.25 deducted from that. $110.67 was what I made. I told you guys in a previous video, I try to work about 20 hours a week, which comes out to 4 hours a day. So on this particular day, I made $27.66 an hour. I will count that as a great success for me, for my business model. Some people may think, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And some people may be like, how is she paying her bills? It doesn't matter. For me, this works. This adds up. I love these numbers. All right, I've told you guys in the past, my inventory system is not labeled. Like, let me show you. This is Fiesta ware. These are dishes. These are all belts. I separate everything by category. And when a belt sells, I don't have to look up what file it's in. I don't have to look up what bin it's in. These are cell phones and phone docks. These are all women's shirts. I've been thinking about organizing these by color. I don't know if that would be better because I could go straight to like the red bin, or if it would be like, oh my gosh, I'm searching through a sea of red shirts. So there's more dishes in these. I like the big like bins like this for dishes because it keeps them separated. But then they're also strong enough to hold something like that. So your inventory system doesn't have to be complicated. Here are sewing patterns, and then in here I have sewing patterns, and these are oftentimes the larger ones that cannot sit upright like these. So I'm gonna find the Cabbage Patch sewing pattern that just sold, which I think it's in the top bin because it is a smaller one, but it's not gonna take me very long to look through these. I think it is in the top bin. Let's just try to do this with one hand here, so it might take me a little longer than what it typically would because all right, there it is. So that didn't take long at all, you guys. Here's the sewing pattern that just sold, $5,200. And then over on this side, I just listed this purse yesterday, but a buyer had some questions about it. On this side, I have like women's pants and shorts, heels, men's shirts. Now I have women's pants here also. So those pants that I need to pull, I think that they're in that one, but I'll look in this one first because it's on top. So I literally just pulled this out, you guys, and then let's look in here. This is why I think it's in the other one, because I think the other one is a lot more full than this. I started this one when the other one filled up, and those pants have been listed for a while. So let's just scoot this back, and they must be in this one. Okay, so I just pulled that out, and oh, there they are. That was hard, huh? Doesn't take long at all to pull inventory like this, and it's not a fancy system, you guys. No special SKUs or anything like that. If special SKUs work for you and that's your jam, oh my goodness, you keep doing it like that, like you go. But I know that jewelry is in this bin. I know that women's lingerie is in this tote. I know that all my books and DVDs and VHSs are over here. It's a simple system for me. Hey, there's all my purses. All of my silver that's for sale is in that box. There's my ink toner cartridges. I guess it's just whether or not you're a visual person, like are you type A or type B? This works for me. And it might work for you, so I just wanted to share it with you guys. This isn't the entire inventory system, but it's basically this. Man, while I'm waiting on my computer to sit here and boot up so I can print off my labels, it just makes me think, like, so many times we can get in our head, I will resell when I have a better computer, I have a faster internet connection, I'm gonna start creating YouTube videos when I have, you know, photo editing software or a nice camera. Or let me just encourage you to start where you are right now. I am literally waiting on the computer to boot up. It's booted up now, praise the Lord. But guys, just work with what you have. Before I had a label printer, I cut out labels like a Neanderthal. I'm just kidding, you're not a Neanderthal if you're doing that. I cut out labels though, and I, you know, pasted them with, well, with tape. I use tape. Paste would be weird. That would, my 4-year-old would love that. But anyway, I taped them on boxes, you guys. Before I understood about eBay giving me a discount on shipping labels, I used to buy my shipping at the counter. The point is that I just started, and although I made some mistakes along the way, I started exactly where I was at. I have learned so much from hands-on experience, guys. Like, imagine if I were trying to learn how to ride a horse, and so I read books about riding a horse. Do you think that just reading about it, I am ever going to develop the skills necessary to actually be effective in riding that horse? Like, just jump in, guys. You are going to get so much more education and value out of just jumping in where you're at and not being afraid of maybe failing at some things. Ask questions. Ask me any question. You can ask me here. You can ask me on Instagram. It is never a bother. Like, it kind of makes me chuckle a little bit when people message me on Instagram and they're like, if you can't answer, if you don't want to answer, that's okay, but I had a question for you. I'm like, what do you think I'm here for? Absolutely, I want to answer. This is how I learned to resell. So if you have a question, ask me. If I don't know, I'm gonna try my best to find an answer for you. I'm not saying I can always answer 100% of what is this type questions, but I'm gonna try. Like, I'm gonna try to give back value to the community that has taught me so much. So let's get these shipping labels printed. Got everything in my trusty IKEA bag. A couple weeks ago, I did not put my shipments in an IKEA bag. I just carried them out to the car, and one of them fell off the stack and into the side door. And you guys, I was going all over the parking lot, from the post office back to my house, back to the post office, looking for this package that I lost. And it was right there in the side of the door in the back seat where it had just slid off my stack. So since then, not going anywhere without this bag. Do you guys see those Hokas sitting out there? I'm not trying to be like Josh, Harry Tornado, and take my pictures outside. These are sitting out here because let me show you the saddest little pair of Hokas real quick. Okay, so I sourced these. I thought that these were great pickup, and got home and realized how badly they smell of cigarette smoke. I mean, like, bad, you guys. So I washed them, and now they smell like cigarette smoke and laundry detergent. Like, these are in great condition. I haven't taken the price off of there yet. You can see I paid $4 for these. How do I get the cigarette smell out? I put them outside hoping that fresh air would do the trick for a little bit. I'm going to try to stuff them with newspaper, maybe even put a piece of charcoal in there or something. Should I give them a vinegar bath? Let me see how badly if they still smell, because they've been out here for like 24 hours now. Yeah, cigarette smoke and laundry detergent. These were a good pickup, guys, but who knew they were gonna reek like a pack of Marlboros? Hey, count it all joy, right? The fact that I still have an Easter decoration up and it's April 27th, count it all joy. All right, I have an empty IKEA bag in the back now and this long receipt. Do you guys stand in the line at the post office and make sure all of your stuff gets scanned and that you get a receipt on it? I've had to use these receipts to even prove how much a package weighed when I dropped it off before. So I am that person that walks in with my bag and I will wait until every package is scanned. I usually bring a scan sheet to be easier for my postal workers. But anyway, do you guys do that? Like, I used to just have the carrier pick them up, but my carrier actually went on a short leave and the new carrier was like a little subpar. If there was consistency and if I knew every single time that the packages would get scanned as they should be, I would probably do that. But I just feel like this is something I can control and I can count it all joy, right? This is another way I can control my business, and when the packages get scanned is to watch it happen. Do you guys do that? So I haven't been sourcing much at all lately. Just that last collaboration video that I did, hearing all of our answers about how much we source versus how much we list. guys, we got to do better. Anyway, so I haven't been sourcing a lot lately because I have so much unlisted inventory, and I've been trying to get through it like 20-25 items at a time. That being said, I brought home maybe 3 or 4 items last week, and I'm going to treat myself for all my hard work to a quick trip in here. I'm only picking up things that are going to net big profits. Let's see if I can find anything. I cannot even wrap my mind around the stuff that I just found on that random thrift trip. And it's so funny because shoes are the best thing I found. And one of the reasons why I wanted to run into the thrift store real quick was someone commented on the video where I talked about the Rothy's that I found in that same store for like $4 and sold them for $432. Found those on a day I wasn't going to thrift. Anyway, I found some incredible stuff. I am going to show you guys in just a second a really informal little haul addition to this video. Wasn't planned, but you guys went thrifting with me, you've spent all day with me, you deserve to see what I found, right? But before I get into that, I just wanted to talk real quickly about something. One of the main reasons I wanted to make this video today was to talk about returns, and more so talk about no returns. Like, I don't accept returns. I don't know if you guys knew that. I probably have never mentioned it. Maybe I've mentioned it in a video. Recently, I got a comment on one of my videos from a viewer named Roga Taylor. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And the comment says, I noticed you don't take returns. How do you get around that on eBay? They always seem to force me into it. Thanks for the content. Thanks a lot for watching the video, Roga. And you brought up a point that I feel like a lot of new sellers bring to my attention over and over again. They feel like eBay forces them to accept returns. I don't accept returns on my store, you guys. I just don't. I want to tell you guys why I don't accept returns, but before I do that, I want to preface that by saying this is not saying you do need to accept returns or you don't need to accept returns. I just want especially new resellers and new eBay sellers to know that it's an option to not accept returns. I'm a full-time reseller and my store will tell you no returns. I'm just not really interested in it. The reasons why I feel like someone would want to make a return on eBay, number one, if the item is the wrong size, and I am very thorough in describing the size of items. I have pictures that show my measurements. I don't even put it in the description. I've shown you guys that today. If you cannot look at the measurements and the photos that I have and determine whether or not a garment is going to fit you, you know, and base your purchase around that, I mean, I don't know what more than measurements. Obviously, everything fits a little bit differently, and I am one of those buyers, and I feel like a lot of females probably feel me on this. I'm not gonna order jeans online because all jeans fit differently. But ordering jeans online from some place that's going to accept a return and make it a free return, and they're gonna pay that $8 shipping back because that's about what you're gonna pay on a pair of jeans. Yeah, I'm likely to use them as a dressing room. Not me personally. I feel poorly about returns myself, so I don't utilize them a lot, but I can see someone basically using my store as a dressing room. Let's see if these jeans fit, and then ask Rachel to pay $8, like I say, to mail them back. And now I have this pair of jeans back, but let's just say I spent $4 on the pair of jeans. I spent $8 to ship it to them and $8 back. That's now $20 that I have in that pair of jeans. I'd better resell them for quite a bit because my cost of goods just went way up. So I'm not interested in returns based off of size. A buyer may want to return something because the color looks different. I absolutely cannot control different monitors, you know, and how the color may look. I try to describe the color well with words. You know, if I feel like a pink is coming off more orange than what it is in real life, I'll go ahead and say that. You know, the purse is a lot more pink than what it appears in these photos. And you know, just be honest with your customer. I listed a tank top the other day and it's a size large, and like the bust I feel like was a size large, but I tried this tank top on and it should have fit, and I felt like it was really tight. So I said, this top runs small, please double check all the measurements. Just going the extra mile in your listing photos and in your description to explain to a buyer if things are a little different the way you would want them to be. I listed a pair of shoes and I know that they fit bigger than a size 10 normally would, so I said that again in the listing. You know, these run large. I just want the buyer to have the closest experience they can get to feeling an item with virtually purchasing something from my store. So, you know, color or the fact that a buyer might change their mind, like in my opinion, and this is again just my opinion, but why should I pay shipping when a buyer has buyer's remorse or changed their mind or someone didn't like a gift? Why would I need to pay for that? I know that there are some sellers on eBay that absolutely can afford to do that. I'm telling you, as a full-time reseller, I cannot afford to pay for someone to change their mind about an item that they purchased in my eBay store. So I don't offer returns, you guys. A lot of you offer returns and you may have really, really great reasons. I did want to discuss what you can gain from offering returns. Obviously, you gain, maybe you get in front of more buyers. There may be a buyer that says, well, she doesn't accept returns, I'm not going to shop from her store. But in my eyes, my opinion only, again, I dodged a bullet there, because do I really want a buyer that a determining factor in whether or not they purchase something is if they can send it back at a cost to me? I don't want that buyer. To be honest with you, I don't. If you could filter eBay buyers by how many returns they make, I would probably filter buyers by how many returns they make. Now, guys, this isn't to say that I've never accepted a return on anything. Let me share a little story with you, because if I mess up, I am going to make it right with my customer. Like, I want my customers to be happy. If I can possibly do anything about it. I sold those Rock Band drums that we did on the 99-cent free shipping auction. They sold for $70. It took me $23 to ship them. I paid $10 for the drums, so I was already like $33 in. Well, the buyer gets them and she said, hey, these are cracked and you never said that they were cracked. And I'm like, oh, here we go, let's see. Because you know, automatically that's what you want to think when someone opens up a return. And you try to be cynical and things, but then I was like, no, let's like look at the photos and see. And she showed me the photos, and I do think maybe like some pressure had been applied and made the crack a little worse. I go into my listing photos, I zoom in, and sure enough, there's a hairline crack in both the spots she's talking about. Now, the photo she sent me, it was almost broken in half, so I think they'd exaggerated the crack at that point, but the crack was there. So this was a $70 purchase, guys. $23 shipping one way, $10 cost of goods on the item, and I could not refund her fast enough. And my husband was like, man, you didn't even think about that. And I said, exactly, like, it's worth my peace of mind to have just refunded her. I said, sure enough, and I was careful to admit fault. You're absolutely right. I didn't see the crack, but when I go back to my own listing photos, I can see the crack there. I have refunded you immediately. Thanks for your patience and explaining this to me. God bless. Because it was so kind of her to, I don't know if she actually opened a return or not. Maybe she did. Anyway, if she did or if she didn't, I refunded her 100%. Now, it's always great if the buyer can come to you first instead of going to eBay. So like, it's like telling mom, like, I'm gonna tell mom, can we work it out first? Don't go tell her that I hit you. You want the buyer to be able to come to you first. And with free returns, they're not gonna do that either. They're just gonna go open the return case and get their label. So over on Instagram, I am asking people, do you accept returns? And one of my friends over there, the Flippin' Sports guy, if you haven't checked out his channel, I'll link it below. But he brings up a good point that he's just recently reached top rated seller status, and he wants that top rated seller plus. So that's why he accepts 30-day returns. And he also gets 10% off his fees. So there are definitely some pros to accepting returns. And you know, for him and for his business model, that works. So again, I just wanted to say that to say, my model is not a sweeping model for every single eBay store and every single eBay reseller, but I don't accept returns. Comment below, let me know if you guys accept returns. Like I say, it's not to say I've never accepted a return. And in the 4 years I've been selling on eBay, I have had eBay force me into two, in my opinion, very erroneous returns. One, a buyer got a jacket and said that it had a terrible mildew odor that stunk up their entire house whenever they opened it. And guys, I pulled that jacket out of my own closet, and I knew it didn't smell. I was so angry about this. And again, was it worth? I'm thinking about it still today, like 2 years later. Was it worth it? Should I have just given them their money back? But I tried to fight it. And that's crazy that you can claim something as crazy as smell, and eBay sided with them. They said, you know, although they can't prove that it does smell, you can't prove that it doesn't smell, and forced me to not only take that return but pay for the shipping on the way back. And I just can't imagine if doing that was part of my business model. That would be a hard pill to swallow every single day, and it would be hard to count that all as joy. So I don't accept returns. Let's get into the really cool thrift haul. Just to explain why I'm such a diva and did a wardrobe change, because I found this today and it was $4 and I had to buy it. Okay, on to what I bought for strangers on the internet. I found this entire tub. Let me put all the pieces back in here. This entire tub of like Melmac and Texas ware and vintage plastic dishes, restaurant ware. Definitely a good keyword for this. These purple glasses. If you've ever eaten in a diner, you've had amber colored glasses like this, and then there's like a couple different sizes. These teeny tiny little juice glasses, and then these larger tumblers. I guess these are all about the same size, but anyway. And then this is Texas ware, this platter. This whole set, you guys, was $4. This is Texas ware. These little cups are not Texas ware, but I'll probably use restaurant ware as a keyword here, and it came with 8 of these. These 2 plates are Plastics Manufacturing Company, again, made in USA, vintage, and then there are Texas ware little bowls, like 8 of these, and then some Texas ware saucer plates. So $4 for these. I will definitely get 10 times my money, if not more. I mean, I'm probably looking at least $60 for all of this. Great pickup. That was the first thing that I picked up. Oh, I picked this up. The dress wasn't the only thing that I bought for me. I bought My Fair Lady. If you guys don't watch free YouTube movies, and I'm not talking about like pirated YouTube movies, I'm talking about YouTube movies free. Like YouTube has a whole collection of movies that are free, many, many classics. And yesterday while I was listing, I was watching Breakfast at Tiffany's. Believe it or not, I've never seen Breakfast at Tiffany's. Today, the movie's not free anymore. YouTube does me like that all the time. So if you do watch YouTube movies, be sure to watch the whole thing in one sitting. But My Fair Lady is another one that I haven't seen yet. And so this was a 2 VHS set, and it was 25 cents. I bought it for me, and my husband really likes old vintage movies too, so we could actually make a date night out of that. So 25 cents for a date night, and we'll both have watched a classic. Can you even believe I didn't film when I actually found these? I wish I had, because there was a Lucky shoe, like a Lucky brand, and then this right beside it, and so I almost didn't see this because I saw Lucky inside the other one, and then I saw and I was like, wait, that says Teeks. And then I was like, no, there's only one teak. Tell me the other one's not in the back somewhere. Like someone mismatched this, because it was right beside that Lucky brand navy flat that looked very similar. I was like, no, I finally find teaks, because I've never found teaks. I was like, I finally find teaks and I find one. What is this? What type of injustice? And then so I keep searching around, and lo and behold is the other teak a couple shelves down. I could have screamed, you guys. $3 for these. I don't know if these are the midnight blue, which is like a really rare one. That was like their Black Friday special color, and I don't know how to tell, or if these are just navy. Like, I don't know how to tell. If you know how to tell exactly what color they are, even if they're just the navy blue, those will go for over $100. That is a highly sought after color. So I found these, and while I was still like squealing about it and so excited, I looked down and found these, you guys. What is going on? If this is not proof positive to you that I'm the only reseller in my town, I don't know what is. Like, how do you walk in a thrift store 3 hours after they open, it was like 11 o'clock or something, you guys, and find 2 pair of teaks for $3 a piece? I was like, okay, these are size 8 also, clearly from the same person. What else am I missing that this chick dropped off? And so I decided to go over the rest of the shoes with a fine tooth comb, and that's when I find these Allbirds. These are a 7.5 actually. What? I've never found Allbirds either. These are so cool. So these obviously don't have the resale value that a pair of teaks would. $30 or $40 maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong. This video will go up before I have posted these shoes, but you guys, made with castor bean oil or something. I am so excited. These are two brands that were definitely on like the thrifting bucket list that got checked off today. What is this? This should be the thumbnail, right? It's not, because it's not really what the video is about, but I am excited about these. Okay, next up I found this glove, and I was thinking about Harry Tornado and the gloves that he picks up. This one was $3 and it is a vintage glove. It says the finest in the field. It's a Rawlings HFCB 17 Omatic palm, and it says wingtip, let's see, tailback mode. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that this one's vintage from the 70s though, from what I was able to research just really quickly in the store, and should bring good money. I paid $3 for this glove. I'm gonna ask my husband and my son what they think about this glove, because they're the true ball players of the family. I found vintage bank bags, and I don't think that I'm gonna make a huge return off of these, but I bought them because they were so cool. These ones are Bank of Advance, and they are 25 cents a piece. I bought 5 of them. I don't think that they've ever even been used. I will probably lot them up together and sell them, you know, like $10 or $15 or something maybe. I'm not really sure. I'm looking at some of the zippers to see if some of them are older than others. But anyway, vintage bank bags can bring a little bit of money, and these ones can bring like $10 to $20 a piece. These are canvas bank bags. This says Bank of Bloomfield. So Bloomfield, Missouri is actually the home of the Stars and Stripes, like the military magazine and newspaper, in case you didn't know that. So lots of really cool history in Bloomfield, Missouri as a Civil War site as well. And yeah, these bags are so cool. This one I like the most. This is a canvas bag. This may just end up in my home. I'm not sure if I'm gonna sell this or not. This one is more of like a nylon, and I probably will sell it. So those were 10 cents a piece. Who even prices anything at 10 cents? All right, let's see what else I got. You know, I had to look at the bandanas. I almost filmed picking these up. I am looking for them to be made in America, or Color Fast as the brand. I just recently lotted up 4 of these. This one is Paris Accessories. That's all I keep finding is Paris brand, but I lotted up 4 of them for $45, and they already have watchers. So I will hang on to these until I have more to lot up with them, and hope to get, you know, around at least $10 a piece for bandanas that cost me 25-50 cents. Oh, I got a couple shooting magazines. I'll cover up because someone's address is on there. These are actually for me, Shooting Illustrated, a couple different magazines that I thought my husband and I would probably have a good time looking through, because these are pretty current issues, January 2021 and March 2021. That is obviously a trending online topic, so I will research whether or not these go for anything over on eBay, and maybe after we're done reading them, I will donate them. Let's see, what else did I get? Oh, I got one more thing. I think it's just one more thing. Other than this fabulous dress that I'll probably live in the rest of the day. I got this lightning rod by Skills. Skills is the brand. Lightning rod, and this is a bat to really help, I guess, you be able to keep your eye on the ball, because obviously it's quite a bit smaller. I bought this for my oldest son. It looks like somebody tried to re-grip it with a terrible grip. So this will just come right off. If you see bats or golf clubs or anything that has a really terrible grip on it, don't worry, like, don't let that deter you or be the reason why you don't buy it. My sons and I went recently. My youngest son is getting my oldest son's t-ball bat from when he was little, and it needs to be re-gripped because it's 10 years old, and grip tape at Walmart is like $3. So let me finish pulling this off of here. Somebody just did like a really loose job of gripping that. So this is what it looks like. We'll peel this off if he wants it peeled off, and then I have black all over this fabulous dress now. I'm giving that to my oldest son. If he does not want it for some reason, they appear to sell for over $20 on eBay, and I spent $1 on that. But the real king of this little mini haul are these teaks. Have you guys ever found teaks? It's just crazy that the whole reason I stopped in was because of the story about the Rothies stopping in on a day I wasn't going to stop in. This doesn't help our addiction to sourcing, does it? Because that is the reason why you walk in. You think there's something in there today that's not going to be in there the next time I go in. There's money. There's, you know, a couple $100s right there that I would not have made had I not walked in there today. But really, I haven't made any money yet, because sourcing doesn't make any money. Listing does. And had I stayed home and listed, maybe I would have made a couple $100. So I gotta list the things that I have drafted. I also have track practice later. So I gotta list the things that I have drafted because that's really the key to making money. So I thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you'll remember this week when things go wrong to count it all joy, because you are still self-employed. You are still crushing it as a reseller. Don't compare your numbers or your business to anyone else. Don't compare whether or not you do returns to me not doing returns, or me not doing returns to whatever you do. We are all in business, guess what? For ourselves. While it's cool to have resellers as co-workers and have this community, don't forget, at the end of the day, this is your business. God bless you so much, and don't forget to treat your business like your business.